Okay, back at the main screen again. We're going to import your customers. This will be something you'll do once. After this you will just add the customers one at a time. But anyway, let's start by opening the Hunter RGM program. When you come to this screen, you want to go to Data Exchange, Genera Export tool. Over here at the Available Tables, click on the customer. We want the customer number, which is their USB number, customer name, their street address, city, state, zip, and phone. That's about all we need. You want it to be, the file format needs to be the CSV text. You don't need the field names in the first row, and you can open the file after export. At least you know that it then worked. In the Smart Business folder, there is an empty folder called HECO, and you can save it, type it in here and save it as a customer's text. As you can see, I've saved it once before, so I'm just going to highlight it and hit save, and it'll ask me if I want to replace it. And now you know it's exported. You can see all this gobbledygook in here. Just go ahead and close that, and close out of the RGM program. Then when we get back here to this screen, we want to go up here to Contacts, to the File menu, hit Import Records File. We'll go to that customer text file we saved in the HECO folder. We're going to open it. Now, because I've already moved these, they're all in the order they should be, where the USB number would be the target field of USB. Let's say the city and state were switched. I would grab a hold of this, and you can see now where the city moved to the state down here. So let's say I want to move the phone, so it lines up with the phone number, and then the rest of it here I've lined back up. But once these are all in the proper order with an arrow going this way, you can see you can turn the arrow on and off. You need the arrows going through so they know that we're importing them all. And you just want to add the new records. If there were records in here, it would ask you if you wanted to update it and whether or not to import the first one or not. We just need to add new records, hit import. You don't need to check this box, hit import again. You can see that it brought in 199 records. We'll hit OK. The one thing you have to do in the contact code here is just click to highlight it, right? Put a number 1 in there to start with. Hold down the control key, hit the equals key. Now it's going to ask you if you want to permanently replace the contents of the field contact code in the 199 records of the current found set. You don't want to hit OK. You want to go over here and hit replace with serial numbers. You want the first value to be 001, increments by 1, and then go ahead and hit replace. What this will do is it'll give every customer a specific Smart Business contact code, and every customer uses that when you're writing invoices or doing calling lists. That's how it identifies it all. Now, let's say you're going to enter a new customer that you just had. The easiest way to do that is get over here and sort by the contact code. Drag this over to the very last record, and you can see that that customer was 199. So of course your next customer would be 200. So you'd hit new, put 200 in here, and then you would type your new customer, so on and so forth. But let's look at another record. One of the things that you have to do when you get all these records in here for the very first time is you need to put in your labor rate. Let's say your labor rate is $95 an hour. Put that in once. With the cursor in there, we're going to hit that control equals. This time we're going to use the replace with $95 so that every record shows $95. The other thing that you'll want to do is put in their tax amounts. If you fill this out in prefs, you could autofill it, and you can tell there's none in the press file because we didn't get any here. But let's say your tax rate is 0.0825. We could do that, and to put it in every single one, what would we do? We'd hit Control equal, replace. Now here's the tricky one. You see how there's an X there? Put the X in there, hit Control equals, replace it in all of them. Now as you scroll through, you'll notice that it's the same in every single one. One thing you want to do when you're adding equipment in. Here we're at Galpin Recon. The equipment ID always has to start with the contact code. So let's say they have some DSP 600, so I might type in here 196-60, and I hit the tab key. The next thing it'll ask me is, what kind of equipment is it? It's an 811. Then I'm going to go down to 600s. It's an aligner. Here I could type the serial number, the order number if I knew it, and the install date. Second piece of equipment, you'd start here. Say they had a 9500 balancer. Oops, let's get the scroll going a little bit better here. Now you notice these are sensors. Well, balancer wouldn't have a sensor, so I'm not concerned with that. Let's also change this. This is supposed to have been a liner up here. We'll put a serial number for this one. Let's say we don't know the order number and we don't know the install date. We can just leave that blank. And then that's how you would go ahead and do that. Last calibration will come up from the invoice file. If you want to put them on a cal schedule, be it monthly, quarterly, biannually, you can put all that here. The last visit will show up last time you write them an invoice. If you have a tax area, these are pre-populated with the areas I have. It's important that you put these in, especially if the tax areas are different. Let's say the San Fernando tax area was 8 1/4. If the Antelope tax area was 7 1/4, I'd need to have those separated so I could easily do my taxes and separate one county from the other. But that's about all you really have to have in the contacts file in order to get them set up. Remember to make sure you have the taxes with the X's checked so that it figures the tax when you do the invoice. But that's about it.